Hey, what's up guys, Lux here bringing you a new video, and today it's going to be something a little bit different. This is going to be a Lego Minecraft comparison video. Now I thought it'd be fun to compare these two end sets. These are the only two end sets that have come out, and they're somewhat similar. They both come with a tower, an ender dragon, and obviously some figures slash layout of the end. So again, I thought it'd be fun to compare the two. We have a little bit of a ranking system here where we're going to compare different attributes about it, value, figures, playability, and all that fun stuff. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. First off, we're going to start off with what the sets are. So this set on the left here is set 21117, the Ender Dragon. It came out in 2014, retailed for $69.99 USD, and had 634 pieces. The set on the right here is set 21151, the End Battle. It came out in 2019, retails for $20, and comes with 222 pieces. So based on the pieces and the price, and obviously just staring at it upright, you can tell that there is a drastic difference between size at the very least. But I still think there is much to compare between these two, and maybe, I don't know, you'll be shocked in the results of what ends up winning at the end. But anyways, let's get right into it. So first off, we're going to start off with the figures. Now first up here we have Steve. Obviously we know Steve. The only real difference here is that he comes with light blue legs, obviously representing that he has diamond gear on, plus all the diamond armor, accessories, not to mention the diamond sword and the bow and arrow. So not too much exciting here. I mean, obviously a full diamond Steve, it's always neat to look at, but honestly you can gather enough pieces if you collect a bunch of Lego Minecraft sets and make it by scratch if you really wanted to. But it's a pretty decent figure all around. It's your casual Steve, which makes sense for the set, but you know, nothing too outstanding in my opinion. Next up here is the Enderman. Now this Enderman comes with a tan block as the block that he is carrying. All Endermen come with a block. That's just part of the minifigure, how Lego has created them. Obviously we're familiar with these figures. Very tall, nice build, and they look very accurate. And the hand printing is very good. Solid black, so no real texture on this, but that is pretty much it for this figure. The Ender Dragon set slash 2014 version comes with 3 of these, and the newest 2019 version comes with 1. So that is the Enderman figure. Now the other figure that the 2019 version includes is this exclusive Dragon Slayer skin, and she comes with an enchanted bow and Ender Pearl accessory. The Ender Pearl piece is new, or at least the printing is. Along with her torso printing and leg printing, she also comes with back printing with a cool creeper pattern, as you can see there. Very neat. It's always great when you get new figures because it's very refreshing from the typical Steve and Alex's that we get, and you can always add more characters to any Minecraft collection that you own. Overall, this is a great figure and comes with pretty good accessories. Now, knowing that the 2014 version has 3 Endermen while the 2019 version has only 1, you'd think, hey, there's 4 figures on the 2014 version and then there's 2 figures on the 2019 version, but what you gotta keep in mind is, does the exclusive Dragon Slayer skin outweigh the 3 Endermen? I would have to say yes, because Steve, you can get him at any point. While Endermen are rare, you can get multiples of them, at least, and we'll always be seeing them in sets being scattered around in multiple waves. But the Dragon Slayer skin, she's exclusive. In addition to that, each set comes with a unique code, so anyone can unlock it. If you need a little help, I'll have a tutorial video linked down below. But the fact that you can unlock this skin even in the actual game, I think gives it that little edge. And obviously it already includes an Enderman, so you get 1 there. And if you walk up to me and ask me, hey, would you rather have an Enderman in this new exclusive figure or 3 Endermen in a Steve? Even without the accessories, I'd probably say the exclusive figure and the Enderman. So I'll have to give the point this round. So I'll have to say that the 2019 version barely edges out the 2014 version in regards to figures. Now moving on, seeing that this is a play set, not a direct to consumer, we obviously have to look at the play features that are included in these sets. And they both have a little something to show us. So let's start off with the 2014 version. Now when it comes to the 2014 one, there is one defined feature when it comes to the towers. There is a little play feature where if you press down on the tallest tower, or any tower that you end up placing this light brick on, you can see that it glows when you press down on it, giving that more of a mystical or enchanting look to the end crystals. So that's something a little neat to set. It's a little play feature. We just press on some bricks and it lights up. Light bricks aren't too common, but whenever they're included, they usually make a set shine more. I think if it included 2 more light bricks, which I know would bump the price a bit, it would be a much better feature, given that all of these will end up glowing. But these don't glow when you press down on it. Only the biggest ones, since only one's included. But it's just a nice little feature that people can find enjoyment out of. Moving on, we have the figures. Now, obviously, there are more figures included in this set. 2 more Endermen to be exact. And that definitely leaves a lot of room for play. Obviously, you have your protagonist in Steve and the antagonist in the Enderman that Steve can fight. And having masses of a figure or enemy figures can always lead to fun play if you're a kid and are looking into that. And lastly, we have the dragon itself. Now this dragon, it's a pretty big dragon, so it definitely can be an intimidating opponent for any protagonist to fight, so that makes it a little bit more of a great inclusion. There's also some possibility both in the mouth as well as the horns up here in his head, not to mention the whole neck and tail is posable along with the feet, so you can obviously pose it however you wish. And there's a little play feature, a little hidden feature here where you press down on the wings. It actually makes the wings flap, and it's very hidden there, so it doesn't take away from any of the design of this set in particular. So yeah, overall those are pretty much all the play features that it consists of. It's a very postable dragon build and can definitely lead to a lot of play. But for a $60 set, this is what you most likely would expect and consider. So overall, it has pretty good play. Obviously a ton of features included, seeing that it's a bigger sets. And now we're going to take a look at what the 2019 version has for play. Alright, here's the 2019 version. Now we're going to be taking a look at what it has to offer when it comes to play and see if it compares or could even beat out the 2014 version. Now let's take a look at it. Similar to the 2014 version, this end tower actually has a play feature. If you look in the back, you can see that there is a little lever sticking out. It's quite noticeable, but if you're looking at it from the front, you won't really notice it that much. And if you push down on it, the end crystal actually goes flying, so you can pretend as if the Dragon Slayer shot the crystal and it blew it up. I say that's a bit better of a play feature than the other end crystal tower, which only lights up the brick and doesn't really have much of an effect on the tower as a whole. But this one, you can actually see that it lights the whole tower, aka a healing item for the dragon. Obviously, with the figures here, you get an Enderman, a protagonist, and another dragon. You get a little bit of play here. The dragon is obviously much more downsized, so it's not as intimidating, but it still plays the same purpose. Speaking of, this dragon is also just as posable, if not a little bit more, because it also has neck possibility as well as wings and legs. While the front legs are a little bit more limited, you can still pose them and adjust them to your pleasing. Not to mention, it also holds one more play feature. As you can see down here, there's a little purple spring shooter. If you look at the back, following the spikes, this one's a little bit more elevated. Again, another very nice hidden feature. And if you press down on this button, it actually shoots out that spring-loaded shooter very aggressively, might I add. So yeah, it's definitely a good play feature. Could even be used as a defense mechanism if you push it down hard enough. But yeah, those are the play features of this set. Alright, now that we took a look at both the play features on the 2014 version and the 2019 version, the question is, what has the best play feature? And in my personal opinion, I believe that the 2019 version has the best play feature. This is merely because comparing the sizes of the two, they are pretty substantially different, given that the 2019 version has a bit more to offer than the bigger 2014 version. The 2019 version dragon has a bit more possibility with those wings. It also has a hidden feature with the spring-loaded shooter, as well as the end crystal tower. There's a little bit more than the one found in the 2014 version, where it actually blows off the top of it. And while the 2014 version is pretty up there in playability with the multiple figures, obviously the light brick is a cool inclusion, as well as the dragon flapping his wings, I think you get a little bit of that. I think the 2019 version edges it out just barely, once again, when it comes to playability, especially for the difference in size and scope between these two sets. So yes, the 2019 version gets another point added to its overall score. Alright, now moving on, we're going to be taking a look at value. Now, value can be measured on many different things when it comes to looking at Lego sets. It can be price per piece. It can be what you personally think, which at the end of the day, it very well might be what it comes down to. How much content you get, how much enjoyment would you get out of something, how good does it look in display, all of that. But seeing that we already took a close look at both of these sets, both in their separate videos and a little bit in this video, I'd have to say that the 2014 version has greater value. The dragon build is much sturdier as well as just overall better looking, while the wings, they look a little off because it's a blocky figure and those are pretty smooth wings. They still work, they still function the same. It's not that big of a deal. You get a bunch of different side builds with the end portal and the end platform. Overall, more figures aren't bad, as well as the towers look just a bit more accurate in size to what we see in the 2019 version. And overall, it's more appealing to look at in display than if you got the $20 version. Seeing that the dragon is pretty lackluster, the end tower isn't really much of a tower, and while it does include an exclusive figure with its own unlock code, as well as including just one more Enderman for your figure to fight with, I think the $20 value is barely existent, if at all, there. While the $60 set is obviously 3 times its price, I feel like it's deserving of that price with a substantial dragon build and layout and extra side builds that add to the set as a whole. So the 2014 set gets its first point in this comparison. The next thing we're going to be looking at is the build of the set. Now, obviously, you can tell maybe one has a significant advantage over the other. And while we can excuse these facts because of the price, obviously staring at these two from a distance, you can still see a drastic difference in quality when it comes to the build. The 2014 version has a bigger and more substantial build with more appealing towers to look at, with the color variation on the crystals of yellow, purple, and transparent, while the 2019 version only has a transparent and gray tone, which is pretty muted. The overall landscape of the 2014 version seems much more vast, and even though the 2019 version was only $20, it still feels very flat and underwhelming for an end layout. Like I mentioned before, the 2014 towers seem a lot better as well, especially height-wise, while the only tower located in the 2019 version seems pretty short, especially when standing next to an Enderman, which pretty much is equal height to it, not making it feel like much of a tower. Not to mention the dragon builds, while obviously less pieces were used in the 2019 version. Given the price, I think the sturdiness on the front legs are too flimsy, especially when you bend them. They completely lose their sturdiness. And when you pick up this 2019 version of the dragon, seeing that it has a hidden feature here that's a little difficult to see at first glance. With this button that I mentioned earlier, if you end up picking it up the wrong way, the missile can go very easily flying. I just slowly rested my finger on this spike and it went completely flying, and that's a very good way to lose a piece. And overall, I think it's a little bit of a design flaw. Not to mention the wings, sometimes they work just fine, but a few pieces are loose, like this one. If you grab right here, it's very easily detachable, and I think like a 1x2 would have easily fixed that little mistake. So yeah, overall the build of this dragon, at least compared to the 2014 one, isn't anything to write home about, even though it does the job of looking the part, just barely, for a cheap $20 set. So once again, I will have to give another point to the 2014 version. So seeing that it's now tied up, you would obviously need a tiebreaker, right? And this just comes down to opinion. Analyzing the figures, the price, the build, the value, overall, I would have to give it to the 2014 version. It was a much more solid build and set, came with a good amount of figures. For back in the day, it was also a very good set, and to this day, I think it very well holds up. The side builds add a lot of character to make the end feel complete, while the 2019 version feels like it lacks the environment of a final boss fight, or more specifically the end battle. So yeah, overall I'd have to give the final point to the 2014 version, and counting up all the scores, the 2014 version wins. But yes, that's pretty much it. You let me know down below which one you think has the most bang for its buck, design wise, value, play, figures, whatever you think. I can definitely see the figs and play features leaning either way, but in my opinion, I gave it to the 2019 version. And obviously the value and build, I think that definitely goes to the 2014 versions. What do you guys think? You can comment down below. I just thought comparing these two sets would make a fun video. I had a good time. You guys can let me know down below. If more somewhat similar sets come out of Lego Minecraft, I'll be sure to probably make a comparison video on that as well. I know the Nether Bridge, there are 2 versions on it, just saying, but we'll have to see in the future what I do about that. But anyways guys, if you enjoyed, you know what to do. Subscribe if you're new. Leave a like if you enjoyed what you saw, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Have a good day.